Now, whether you transition from summer to autumn in the Southern Hemisphere or welcoming spring in the Northern Hemisphere, today I have 12 top cool season crops that will thrive in your garden, whether you grow them in the backyard, in containers, or on a patio. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. Now, Chard is a powerhouse leafy green. It comes in different colors, it is resilient, and it keeps on producing leaf even after you have harvested. So you can start them indoors in seed trays, or you can sow them directly into your garden. You must just make sure that you harvest the outer leaves to encourage continuous growth. Now, Chard can handle warm temperatures, but do pretty well if you grow them in cooler temperatures. Now, if you want a supply of fresh leafy greens, then lettuce is definitely one of the cool season crops that you must plant. So whether you are opting for the butterhead or the loose leafy variety, lettuce is a cut and come again crop that will provide you with some fresh leaves throughout the cool season. Now, you can also start them indoors, or you can sow them directly in milder temperatures. Just make sure that you stagger your sowing to once a week to ensure that you have a continuous supply of lettuce. If you have limited space, you can always plant your lettuce in growing bags or in shallow containers. Now, kale is not only a superfood, it is also a super grower if you grow it in the cooler months. Kale comes in different varieties. You get different shades of green and different types of leaf. You can sow them, you can start them indoors, or you can sow them directly into your garden. Now, the smaller leaves can be used in salads, but as the plant grows, the leaves will become tougher, and you can use the older leaves in cooking. Yeah? Now, carrots love cool weather, and they taste much sweeter when you grow it during the cooler months. Just make sure that you sow them in loose, well-drained soil. And remember to sow your carrots directly. It's one of those root crops that doesn't like to be transplanted. Now, if you have limited space, you can then try the Persian variety. They are compact and they are cute, and they are suitable to be grown in raised beds or in containers. Just make sure that you thin out your carrots to avoid overcrowding. Now, beetroot will give you a double harvest. You can harvest the nutritious greens, but you can also enjoy the earthy beets. So beetroot is one of those crops, root crops, that you can sow directly into your garden, but you can also start them off in trays and grow them in clusters. I use both methods. I normally sow my beetroots directly, and some instances I will grow them inside. So just make sure that when you harvest them, that you don't toss the leaves away, because those leaves can also be consumed, like I indicated earlier, and you can also enjoy the fresh, earthy tasting beets. Yeah. Now, cabbage is a staple winter crop, and it will reward your patience with nice firm heads that can be used in stir fries and coleslaw, and you can even ferment some of your cabbage. So I prefer to grow cabbage, different varieties in the garden, just to bring some different varieties and flavor into the garden. Now, when you plant cabbage, just make sure that you give them sufficient space. And if you want to keep some of the pests at bay, you can always interplant your cabbage with onions or with dill, or even plant nasturtium to keep the aphids at bay. Now, cauliflower and broccoli, they are the brassica cousins that love to grow in the cool temperatures. Now, broccoli will provide you secondary heads after you have harvested the main head. You must just make sure that you plant them in well-drained, fertile soil. And after you have harvested the main head, you can always look out for secondary heads. Now, cauliflower, if you look after them, keep them nice and moist, they will provide you with nice firm heads. This year, I am trying to grow the purple variety. There are different types of cauliflower varieties that you can grow, but cauliflower and broccoli do pretty well in cool season. I've made a video on how I grow my cauliflower. I'll put a link up there, but definitely brassica, the two cousin brassicas that you definitely need to plant in your autumn and winter garden is definitely cauliflower and broccoli. Now, potatoes is also a cool season favorite. You can either grow them in trenches, in the in-ground garden, or in your raised beds, or you can even grow them in containers. Now, one tip that you need to do when you grow potatoes is just ensure that you heat them up. That will increase the yield of your potatoes. I planted mine in June last year, and I enjoyed a very nice, beautiful harvest. So potato, it's a low maintenance veg that you can plant. You just need to make sure that you heap it up continually to ensure to have maximum and an increased yield. Now, garlic is a long season crop. It takes its time, but it is worth it. So if you plant your garlic plants now, you can have a lovely harvest in the upcoming summer. So just make sure when you plant them that you plant them with a pointing side showing upwards. And after you have planted your cauliflower, your garlic, you want to make sure that you put a high nitrogen fertilizer just to encourage the leaf growth before your plant will go dormant. If you're in a Mediterranean climate like I am, that where we receive our rain during the winter, there's a high likelihood that your garlic will be affected by garlic grass. So I just try to apply copper soap to deter the garlic grass. So you need to be diligent. I am not always winning that battle, but if you want to avoid garlic grass, you can definitely use copper soap to spray your leaves to prevent your garlic from getting affected by garlic grass. Now, onions is also a slow grower, but it's a staple in many gardens. So you can either decide to grow it from seed, or you can use onion sets if you want quick or shorten the growing process. Last year, I decided to use onion sets, and it was very easy to grow. So onions, they love well-drained soil. This year, I'm trying to grow them from seed, but like I said last month, I will definitely opt for onion sets if things go wrong in that regard. Now, peas is another quick growing and rewarding crop, and it takes minimal space if you grow them vertically. Now, fresh peas from the garden taste amazing. Just make sure that you use a structure or trailers to grow your peas upwards, and you can then enjoy fresh peas from your garden. Just make sure that you use the trailers and you sow it. You can sow it directly into your garden. Now, spinach is a fast grower and is one of the easiest cool season crops to grow. So you can sow your spinach seeds directly into your garden. If you have limited space, you can also grow your spinach in containers. Now, they are beautiful cut and come again crop that will allow you to have a continuous harvest from just one sowing. Similarly, like lettuce, if you want a continuous supply of fresh spinach, you can stagger your sowing to every 2 weeks, and then you can enjoy continuous harvest of fresh spinach leaves. Now, these crops are ideal for beginners and experienced gardeners alike. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and if you want to see more cool season crops, I will put a link of a video of my favorite cool season crops right here. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next one. Keep on sowing and growing. Peace.